Hi, and welcome to Guru Grit, the channel where I take my obsession for learning and experts into a manifested form. So, today I want to do the astrological analysis of a famous historical figure that's very much in keeping with the theme of everything going on in the world today, the pandemic, in case you haven't heard. So, here we have the chart of Florence Nightingale, and today is the first day of second lockdown where I live. So, I thought, why not? It would be fun to do and very insightful. So as per usual, we're going to start with the top three placements, like you would with any chart, which are ascendant, sun, and moon. So here for Florence's chart, very, very appropriate. We have a Virgo rising at 22 degrees. So even though it's her Western chart, tropical Western chart, I really want to discuss the fact that if this was a sidereal chart, her ascendant would fall into 0 degrees of Virgo and into a nakshatra, which is lunar mansion in Vedic astrology, and called Uttar Falguni. And this is really important because it gives a lot of insight into whether you're looking at her Western chart or her Vedic chart, that she always had the makings of a healer or somebody who would go on to service mankind, but through a very structured and organized manner. So if we just consider Virgo for a second, Virgo rules health and work, very simply put. They are here to be in the service of mankind, to be servicing humanity any way that they know how. It's just very appropriate that she went into the healthcare field. So what you also get with somebody with this ascendant in the degree that it falls in as well is somebody who's going to be a leader and an astute organizer. They're also very good with math and numbers. And what we'll also see is that in her lifetime, when she was tending to soldiers during the war, when she first went and was stationed, there was like around a 40% death rate when she got there. And by the time she had done her work, it had dropped to like 2.28 or some such thing percent, like 2%. So it gives a person an incredible ability to be a statistician. And she actually had made charts and graphs showing the rates of death plummeting and the importance of sanitation. When she got there, she had the sewer systems flushed and she improved the flow of air and the quality of air through the wards. So the famous lady with the lamp was definitely in keeping with her ascendant and doing all of that. A wonderful leader, powerful person, very smart person, logical person, and obviously a person who's good at healing. So if we move to the sun and the moon, very close conjunction here. So she was obviously born on a new moon, I believe, or right about there, means only 2 degrees apart. Fall into her ninth house of long distance travel. So I think it was the Crimean War that she was abroad for, and many others, but still, the ninth house, long distance travel. She obviously traveled for her work, and it was very fulfilling to her, I believe, because the moon exalts in Taurus. I think that she really resonated with the work that she did. So that being said, I want to move to the seventh house of Pisces, which is her descendant. So what I find very interesting is, in true Virgo fashion, Virgos and Pisces, this axis can be a bit, martyr-like, somebody who sacrifices a lot of themselves to get a point across or to get something done. If they think, fine, I'll do it, no one else will, sort of thing. And what's interesting is Jupiter rules Pisces. So he's very good in this sign. However, when it comes to analyzing the seventh house, you actually don't want to see Jupiter in the seventh house, even if he is in his own sign and he is strong there. The reason is that it can delay marriage or deny marriage or not give a good marriage. This isn't true for everyone, but just generally speaking, it sounds counterintuitive that you would actually want the planet that would indicate a husband for the woman to fall in the seventh house. You actually don't want to see that. So for her in particular, because Jupiter is in Pisces in the seventh, it shows somebody that really felt that they had a mission, that they had a goal to serve, something. It was a vocation. It's not a job. She did it because she felt that she had to do it, that there was something more. And in fact, there was, because prior to the way that she reformed the way that healthcare was being provided, nursing was not seen as a respectable profession where she lived. It was people who were not necessarily even very educated or educated at all, and sometimes had drinking problems. They worked crazy shifts, and they just kind of got whoever was willing to do the job to do the job. And she came in and completely turned everything on its head and said, this is the way we're going to do it. This is the way it should be done. And she really believed in her work. She believed it forever and ever. She also did have a proposal that she refused in order to pursue her work that, was evident for her lifetime. She bitterly did regret it, and she wished that she'd said yes, but, she was willing to sacrifice, once again, that Virgo Pisces axis, sacrifice her own personal happiness to deliver this way of giving healthcare to the world and reforming everything. She has a really strong 8th house as well. So we've got the North Node, we have Rahu, Saturn, and Mercury in the 8th house, all of which are in Aries. So the 8th house is things that are unseen, dwell in the dark, amongst many other things. But what's quite interesting, Saturn is the disciplinarian. So Mercury's the mind. So here they come to work. They come to work. And Rahu, the North Node, is also foreign things. So she worked abroad in the dark, hence the name Lady with the Lamp. And it's very fitting. And what's really fitting is if we look at the Lord of the 8th going into the 12th. So the Lord is Mars, he rules Aries, and here he goes into the 12th house in Leo in a very dignified degree, the 10th degree. So he goes to work in Leo. And Leo obviously likes to shine. So she got recognition for her work. It wasn't always easy. She had to really fight. And from a young age, her family highly discouraged her to do this because she was of aristocracy. She was, very wealthy, very well-known family, highly respected family. She had the chance of an education, and they expected her to marry well. And she wanted to do what she wanted to do. She's very hard-headed. However, going back to this, the 12th house ironically rules hospitals, and it's interesting that she has these 3 planets in the 8th house, because you could find indications of surgery in the 8th house, because the 8th house likes to go deep. It likes to know what's beneath the surface. That's why when you're considering wealth in the 8th house, you're looking at things you can't see, like other people's money or mining for oil, diamonds, gold. Those things are 8th house wealth indicators. So her Mars goes into the 12th, and the 12th house you'll find psychiatric institutions, rehabs, hospitals, etc. You'll find nice things too, like ashrams, but so that's very fitting that the Lord of the 8th, where she has all this discipline, all these indicators for her intellect being put to use and what her soul is calling her towards, going into the 12th. And interestingly enough, if the North Node is in the 8th, that would put the South Node in the 2nd house. And the 2nd house, obviously being family and familial wealth, will have the South Node, K2. So once you have the South Node in the 2nd house, it means that you don't really have to work hard for your wealth. You do something that you enjoy, or you'll inherit it. And she obviously had very wealthy upbringing, so she sort of had the opportunity to pursue this path, and she had the luxury of being hard-headed basically and disobeying her parents, because she would be financially set in any case. I mean, if it was reversed, you'd have to work very hard for your money. If you had Rahu in the 2nd house, they would have to be earned through your own hands, your own skills, your own efforts. She did make a name for herself and all of that, but she was set up very well from the start of life. She had good values, she had the chance of education, so forth and so forth. And moving over to Venus in the 11th. So Venus, being a great benefic, obviously, does really well in the 11th house. And Venus in Cancer makes a person really patriotic. I'd love to show you some charts of some people in the future with this placement, but it's really interesting. And basically, the 11th house is also peer recognition. It's awards and rewards and being recognized for your effort. So, she might have butt heads with people at the start of her career, but eventually people did take note, like she knows what she's doing. She's really, really on point. She's really smart. She's really ambitious. And they did take note of that. And obviously, Venus actually rules nurses. She has a close association with healers, anyways. So putting her in the 11th house in groups of people is very, very fitting. So that makes a lot of sense. It's really, really interesting. So I hope you enjoyed that brief little presentation, and I hope you found it interesting. And I look forward to doing some more in the future. Maybe they'll be on topic with what's happening in the world, but the way that things are going, I hope all good things. So until next time, thank you so much for watching.